Thank you so much, Alex.
It's a pleasure to be here, and if I can help anybody with my answers, I will be happy to.
So I'm going to start off by asking, you've been doing this field of, I don't want to get the name of it wrong. Do you call it quantum hypnosis healing?
Well, words are just labels.
Yeah.
I call it quantum clarity. People know what is hypnosis, but actually you can attain the altered state, which is very crucial in this work, through different means. For example, in ancient times, people were doing the sweat lodge, they were doing the drumming and dancing around the fire to enter into this altered state, meditation in the East. So what I do, I just assist people to get into this natural state of deep trance, theta, brainwave state, through my voice. It may be hypnosis, it may be just guided meditation, Fact is that in this altered state, you have access to your all memories, not only from this lifetime, but any lifetime. You have access to other dimensions, to your higher self, your total soul that knows so much more than the human mind. So this is very, very interesting state, and everybody has access to it. We go through this state every day, 2 times a day, when we are falling asleep and when we are waking up. But we are going through this state very quickly, like 50 seconds or so. So everybody is capable of having this state. But of course the education system is hiding it from us. So we don't know that there are no secrets in the universe for us. Everything is accessible and you can heal everything. You can scan yourself, you can see what is hiding below your conscious awareness. So this is like what I do is I assist people to go into this deep trance state so they can discover who they are, what is holding them back, and how to achieve the full potential and health.
You absolutely do. I know I had my session with you and I'm a completely different person afterward. Even my fiance was like, you seem different. And I'm like, I am. Something's been lifted off of me. It was amazing. So my next question is, you've been doing this since, is it 1999? Is that correct?
From 1999, I started my meditation teachings and, practicing, teaching meditation to others and doing group meditations, which is visualizations, using mantras, using sound. So I am doing this work from 1999 when I was 18.
Sheesh. Well, thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you very much.
I guess I kind of want to ask, I kind of know the answer already, but for anybody who decides to watch this, what got you into it?
I know it was pre-planned. It is the purpose of this lifetime. Everything was pointing to it, from the young age. And I just followed my intuition. I followed my feelings. If something felt good in my heart, without second guessing, without overthinking, I just followed it. I discovered the meditation. I discovered quantum technique and all the things before that, like stepping stones. And now looking back, I see that and higher self was confirmed it to me, that it was pre-planned.
Absolutely. And starting so young at 18, when most people are going out and living a very pleasurable life.
Before that, I had my crazy years as a teenager. I felt like it's empty. I had to experience that. So then I can connect with people, that I experienced this hedonistic lifestyle and there is nothing there.
Absolutely. It's not pleasurable fully to always seek pleasure. You get depressed, but to live with purpose. Absolutely. I was wondering, just jumping into another question here, what do you understand demons or angels to be?
All the beings, everything comes from the source. Everything is conscious. No matter what the human mind thinks, everything is conscious, everything is God's energy. And this energy is manifesting in different ways. Angels are servants of God. They are working for the light. And demons are beings that were tricked by the darkness somehow. Every angel was tricked in different way. So in my work, when I encounter a demon, which is different than an earthbound spirit, this is lost human soul. If I encounter a demon and the demon is cooperative enough that is listening to me and talking with me, usually they hide and they don't want to talk, because they are afraid of the light. But if they are talking, sometimes it's possible to help them convert back into their original form as angel. And they are very surprised because they were covered by darkness and all these lies and illusions for, hundreds and thousands of years. And when they wake up from that, they are very sorry, and they want to tell us, light workers, what is going on there on the dark side, how they are organized, how they are working to enslave humanity, there is an organized effort, intelligent organized effort on the side of the darkness to manipulate humanity to remain in darkness, chaos, and confusion.
I remember reading, you had posted earlier, and it was about how demons need to recharge a little bit. Can you explain a little bit further on that?
This is the evidence that they are also beings of light. They deny it, they are in denial, they hate the source, they are angry, they are afraid of the source of light. Really, they need light to nourish them, to survive. They are using all these very complicated schemes to get the light from, for example, living humans. There are books about it, so there is a lot of information how they are doing it. Basically, they need to have this nourishment of light. Otherwise, they would not function.
Okay, not function as in, so they don't fully dissipate into nothingness, but they become stronger and more powerful if they get closer, be a parasite off of humans, or, say, getting close to a light being itself.
Yes.
Would that be correct to say? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that, because I wasn't sure and I didn't want to give wrong answers to people who are asking that question as well. So how do you yourself, or how do you recommend people ward them off when they feel that they're being attacked?
Well, first, I need to remind everybody that what I'm saying is not a religious view. It's all based on the clinical cases, not only mine, but thousands and thousands of cases of other holistic psychiatrists or psychologists. And they are all describing the same laws, the same method, how the darkness operates. This is like a introduction or disclaimer. And now, if you feel that there is other energies coming into your field, then I suggest to raise your vibration. That means there is also, the whole knowledge about it. But basically, try to do things that brings you joy. Try to be in the nature as long as possible. Connect with the nature. Do activities that makes you joyful, make you happy in life. This is raising your vibration. And let go of negativity and darkness in you and in your surroundings. It could be people, places, habits, ways of thinking. For example, if your mind is always telling you that you are no good, repeating what your, let's say, parents told you. You are not good, you are not smart, you cannot do it, you are weak. Heard it in your childhood. And then the mind is like an echo chamber, repeating it to you like a nasty roommate. So you just need to let go of this. Have the intention that, yes, I have this programming in my mind, but I just let it go. I don't need it anymore. It was a lesson for me. So there are, multitudes of different ways how we are lowering our vibration. Living in fear, associating with people that are toxic, they are narcissistic, they are bringing us down, creating in us negative, low vibration feelings. So you need to consider how I am living, make an inventory. What is going on? How I am opening myself to the darkness? Because it's something that we do, unconsciously. And darkness is exploiting this, exploiting our human mind to create in our lives low vibration situations that are bringing us lower and lower. Actually, there is a body of knowledge the vibration, everything vibrates in a specific frequency, and you can measure it. The work of Dr. Hawkins, David Hawkins, over 50 years of research with muscle testing, everybody who is over 200 on his scale can measure everything. People, situations, places, teachings, anything. You can measure what is the frequency of this object, of this person, and this is very helpful. Also, so much knowledge about it. What I'm saying is just the invitation for people to research it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dr. Hawkins, you said?
Yes, David Hawkins.
Yeah, David Hawkins. Awesome. Hawkins, sorry. So would you say that if I'm having bad thoughts, I'm just trying to give a quick example, I just choose a loving, joyful thought over a very negative, fear-based thought? Would that be something that's helpful?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I now wonder from clients' experiences how they often bring up soul pieces or pieces of their energy being taken and reactivated or just spread out through these different lives or timelines. And I was wondering, what exactly is that? How do you retrieve those back?
Well, the human system reacts to trauma in such a way it fragments the psyche. It's called in psychiatry, it's called dissociation and creating of ego states. In the shamanic cultures, it was about soul fragments. And in quantum hypnotherapy, we know that they are really soul fragments. And whenever you have, let's say you have a trauma during your childhood, not even towards you, but let's say the parents are fighting all the time. There is abuse of mom. Verbal, maybe physical abuse, and you are witnessing it as a 2 years old. It will create disassociation. What does it mean? That mechanism is like this: the soul of the child is going away, not to experience the suffering, but the little part of the soul stays in the body, so the body can be alive. So this small part is experiencing all the trauma, all the suffering, and then after the suffering is done, there's whole soul coming back. The body is already fragmented. And this fragmented part is frozen in time. So that means that you need to go and retrieve it with assistance and bring it back, cleanse it, heal it, integrate back into the body. When you lose your fragment of your soul, you are weaker. You are losing some aspects of you. You are not yourself anymore. You are not running in the full power. And if you have tens and hundreds of such traumas, some people in this altered state, when they observe the soul, they see it as a very cracked, a lot of pieces missing. This space that is after these fragments is usually used by darkness to control them, to insert negativity and things that are destructive in the life. Also, big subject, and during the session, with the help of the angels, we are scanning all the creation in all lifetimes and bring these pieces back after cleansing and healing them, filling them with the light. Sometimes the pieces don't want to come because they are afraid. They are angry. They don't trust. So we need to go in the session to this fragment, which is like it's not full personality. It's very limited personality. So let's say if it is 2 years old child, you need to speak with this fragment as a child. So this is like psychotherapy and the fragments of the soul. So they come back. So they agree to come back and integrate. I want to stress that every session is different. Every person is unique in the universe, in the creation. After hundreds of sessions, the techniques I use are similar, but I am intuitively guided. And every situation is different. It's very interesting work because every day I have different situations to solve during the session. When you have this soul fragmentation, you are open up to any attack. You are not able to defend yourself. So it's very important to bring all these fragments back. And then you are fully strong, fully yourself. And you can go through the challenges of life more easily.
I think I struggle with that. I might have to come to you for a session on soul fragments. I do have trouble with dissociating sometimes. Would you say that that's a soul fragment, or what would be triggering disassociation spiritually? I know what triggers it in the physical.
How do you experience this disassociation?
It feels like there's a thought. Then if I entertain that thought and I don't choose another thought, I get obviously afraid. And then it feels tingling. And then suddenly mean words would come out of my mouth when I was younger. As I've aged, I think you got rid of a little bit of that. It feels like I'm in the back of my mind and I'm listening and I'm observing. It's like two streams of consciousness are happening at once. And I'm saying to myself, why are we doing this? What's going on? Please stop. The first step is the thoughts, then the fear, then the tingling. It feels like I'm sucked back or I'm drawn back.
Remember that what we did was just a consultation. It was like a demonstration how I work. And I know that every person is like an onion with many layers. And you saw this, one example was this lady that we had 3 sessions. And after 3 sessions, we sent to the light 25 beings. but they were in different layers. So at the beginning, we saw only few. After these were removed and we healed her negativity or darkness on this level, it took time for her to heal, to integrate whatever she learned during the session. Then she was ready to do another session and dig deeper, So with you, I had a feeling there are still more. When you are lowering your vibrations, they can step in. I remember this extreme possession with the girl from Bulgaria. I was speaking with her normally, like during the consultation, it was completely fine. And she was aware that I have many voices in me. She's able to hold a job. She is functional. But during the session, they started to take control of her. And I was actually speaking with 5 different personalities. And she was pushed back. And none of them wanted to go, didn't want to cooperate with me. And actually later I found out that it was an agreement that she wanted to have this experience. So I couldn't do anything. This is what she wants. Souls come to planet Earth, to this crazy place. They want to experience something that doesn't exist anywhere else. For example, possession. This is the part of the human experience that you can be possessed, that another person can partially take over. Not completely, but partially. 50 to 60% of population, according to statistics of thousands and thousands of clinical cases, have at least one attachment. This is part of the human experience. Unfortunately, nobody speaks about it. Everybody is afraid because this is the part of the programming. Fear blocks you from investigating it, researching it. But there are a lot of doctors that researched it, healed people with it, with the soul releasement therapy. It works. But, it's like if you are ready, you are ready. If you are not ready, you will be running in the other direction from this knowledge.
I'll say one of my family members, for example, is very religious, and that blocks her from understanding or listening or researching their own abilities. Or if I speak of anything, I've learned not to bring up too many spiritual things with her because she will shut it down and she will say, only a priest can do such and such. How dare you be so evil and try to do things on your own or seek someone who is not a priest? What would you even say to that?
Let them have their own experience.
Exactly.
This person, when I mentioned this scale of consciousness and vibration, high, low vibration, usually the human mind is thinking, oh, low vibration is bad. No, you cannot say that bricks on the bottom of the wall are bad. They are useful for the whole wall, to work. The same way, darkness and low vibrations are actually challenging us to become better and become wiser. So if somebody is choosing to be in the closed box, having this experience of being fanatically religious and being afraid, this is their experience. They want to experience this. Let them live. I only help people that come to me. I am not chasing people and trying to educate them, fix them. When you trust that everything is okay, everything is perfectly in order in the creation, if you trust this, then you know that everything comes in divine timing. Everybody you meet is perfectly suited for you, for some lessons. So you need to ask yourself, what is my lesson with this lady in family? Maybe it's a lesson of patience. Maybe it's a lesson of tolerance. Maybe it's a lesson of let go. Maybe it's a lesson of let go of control or trying to convince everybody. Go within and look for the lessons, and your higher self will tell you, your intuition will tell you what is the lesson.
It is a feeling of, I believe I have to be patient and I have to learn to let go of wanting to control the outcome or know every single step. It's part of manifestation, absolutely, and healing. And
yes.
Let's see, I know you had mentioned David Hawkins. Do you recommend any other books for people who are trying to understand this field and energies? And I know you have a blog, I believe, on your website, and you also have a Facebook and a Facebook page.
Well, it's not for everybody, of course. Yeah. Somebody will resonate with this work and somebody will not feel anything about it. So his last book, Map of Consciousness Explained, is the most easy for everybody to start. If you like this book, then you can go to the earlier books, which are more like academia, written in the academic language. But this last book is more for the layman, and it's very interesting research. It really gives you a power to not be lost.
And I truly appreciate that. I know you had recommended me a book, and I started to get into it, and I'm absolutely excited. I got 4 kids here at home, so it's tough to read it, but when I do, I want to keep turning the pages. Absolutely wonderful research, and these people have dedicated their lives to it just as you have. So
yes, it's about education. And if somebody resonates with this education, with this knowledge, then they can feel that, oh, this applies to me, and maybe I need assistance. And in quantum healing, when we work with the higher self is always trying to empower the client. You, after this session, you need to do this and change this and change that. And then you will step into your power, into your full potential. There is no codependency at all between the facilitator and the person. It's just about awakening, about upgrading something in the person, healing, letting go of something, taking away some negativity and darkness from the person, so the person can see clearly, be fully themselves, empowered. So usually 1 session is needed. Only in difficult cases, we need to have 2 sessions, and very rarely more than 2.
It's very powerful. Going into those altered brainwave states and being able to access someone and their intuition and their higher self without the judgment minds taking over and getting in the way is wonderful.
I want to stress that what is powerful is the higher self, the total soul. That the human soul is the part of. The total soul cannot incarnate fully into the human body because human body is too dense, too low vibration, and it will be destroyed. So only 10%, 5%, 15% of the soul is incarnating in the human body. The rest is the higher self or greater self or total soul, the voice of intuition. And this soul is powerful. It knows everything and can do anything.
That's amazing. I'm trying to imagine in my mind, but obviously my mind can't comprehend. Where would that be? The higher self is still, it's projecting into a body.
Well, they are in another dimensions, at least 6th dimension. It's outside time and space. And, the human mind is 3-dimensional. In the same way, like 2-dimensional being, which don't have depth, like you write something, you draw something on the piece of paper. They are 2-dimensional. They cannot understand 3rd dimension. It's outside of their world. So, in the same way, we cannot understand 4, 5, and 6 and further dimensions because they are. But I have good news for you. If you turn off your mind, make your mind calm, and you start to connect with your intuition, connect with your total soul, in your heart, you will be able to understand it without your mind. You will just know that this is like this. You will understand it, but you cannot explain it in words because words are 3D. The mind is 3D. It's a very limited way of communicating, how we are communicating now. Even telepathy is, even if we were communicating telepathically, if our knowledge is limited, so it's all about knowledge, expanding yourself, exploring, researching, expanding your consciousness. If you have more knowledge, then it's about practice. Practice what you learned, and this practice will expand you further. So it's balance. It's all about balance in life between many things.
Beautiful. Yes, balance is absolutely important. The way that you're speaking of higher self and all of these different dimensions, it leads me to ask a very selfish question, just for my own curiosity of what is your opinion on this? When I was 10, I had my near-death experience, obviously, and I met these 3 humongous light beings that had blue and white light coming from their bodies. I'm not sure. I never thought to ever ask who they were. One was very wise. One kind of handled, the karmic relations, and the other, I'm not sure what they did. I'm curious. Everybody has a different opinion on it. And maybe these are all different words for the same thing. I was curious with your wisdom and all of your experience, what's your opinion on that?
The perception which people have depends on their vibration. If they vibrate low, they have such low perception. Well, they could be your spirit guides, they could be your higher self, they could be your ancestors, they could be so many different things. But it's not so important who they are, it's important what is the message, what is the lesson. Mm-hmm. For example, at the beginning of my practice, when the person remembered the other life. I wanted to know the details, outside. How does it look like? What are the buildings? How the people are dressed, With practice, I started to gravitate into what is your feeling about it? What is going on with people around you? What are you thinking there? It's not important the decoration. It's about what is going on, to tap into these emotions that maybe you are holding negative emotions from these times, and we need to uncover them. This is the important thing. About the experience, it's about what is the lesson and message. If you want to the highest understanding, everything is God. God divided himself, itself, themselves into many different energies, and we are playing different roles. Just a divine opera, We are learning, we are expanding, we are experiencing, and God and the light expands into the darkness by all this, what is happening with us. Sometimes the source comes through in the sessions. God's source is speaking through a person, and it's a very interesting conversation usually. Completely different perspective, that from the perspective of oneness that what we humans here have. But remember, it's not bad what we have. We came here for a specific reason and purpose. It's for expanding the light. This is what we chose. We chose this experience. So
I love that. Thank you. I'm so glad that you offered me that guidance to just don't focus on, it doesn't matter what they package themselves as, it's what the message is. In deep meditation before, I've tried to ask them, who are you? What are you? I never asked you that before. And I keep getting the response back and the knowing back that I am you. Like, I'm part of you. You are part of me. You have me within you. What? But I understand it a little bit better now when you're explaining, source, we're all part of source.
We're just playing, having fun. Sometimes we we choose things that are suffering, but we don't have to suffer. We just made some choices that we are now paying back.
Yeah, sometimes we do choose to suffer. And if there's different levels of consciousness, if there's different levels of beings, we are all part of source. Does the human spirit evolve?
From what I heard from the higher self and angels, they see souls that choose to come to planet Earth and similar places. This is not the only one dense, low vibration place. They see these souls as brave, and they are there to help us through this very difficult place. Cheer us on. They are very ready to help us. This is all God in different forms. It's all light. Unfortunately, again, system doesn't want people to know that you have your personal angels, your guides, your ancestors. They are all waiting to help you, but they cannot help you if you don't ask. It's free will. We come here to do quick progress, very intense. It's like you go to Navy SEALs or very elite training or marathon, Hawaiian Ironman marathon, 40 miles or 100 miles, all the time. Some people choose this. You can go for a run 500 meters around your house for your sport and health, fitness. But some people choose to run 100 miles through jungle, So some souls choose to come to such planet as Earth to have very intense training or progress, spiritual progress. And I see it all the time that when somebody comes here for the first time, sometimes I see that beings from another dimensions, another places, they come first time in human body, they are very confused about, for example, genders, about money, about emotions. They just feel out of place. This is so strange. Everything is so strange. The higher self is arranging the session for them to let them know that it's okay. You are here. It's a new place for you. They advise them how to connect with the inner knowing, with the source, so they can have easy first life on planet Earth.
Wow. What would you respond to someone when they ask, what is a new soul versus an old soul?
Mm-hmm. In my work, some people are asking, they have session and they asking the higher self how many lifetimes I had. And sometimes it's 10 lifetimes at all, like not only on planet Earth. And sometimes it's thousands of lifetimes. So you can imagine that one soul with 10 lifetimes have less experience, and another soul with thousands of lifetimes have a lot of experience. I would change the word old and young into experienced and inexperienced soul. Because actually there is no time. We are only living in this bubble of linear time here. Outside of it, it looks like tapestry, a living tapestry. Everything is affecting everything else in so-called time and past and present. Really, if we start to talk about time, about, timelines, alternative universes, the mind will just be cooked.
Mm-hmm. I really appreciate the tapestry explanation. That's a really good mental image to kind of help the human brain wrap around that concept and make sense of it all happening at once. People get confused. How can it all happen at once? How does one choice that you're making right now affect all of those other timelines that you have? It just does.
Mind cannot understand it. As I said, You need to understand it with your soul mind. You are a soul in the human body, and you have a soul mind, which is much more powerful and advanced than the human mind. And with this soul mind, you can understand it.
Yes, absolutely. How exactly? Let's see. How do I phrase this? I was told that this one being that was very wise, that was guiding me most of the time during my near-death experience, was saying, "You're part of me. You have part of my energy within you. We are each other, basically. I created this incarnation for you. I helped create you. I was here when you were made." That blew my mind. And I'm trying to understand that. Was there just energy flowing throughout the universe? And they said, let's just make a little soul. I'm not sure. I guess energy gets recycled. We know through laws here on Earth that we've come to understand that energy does not, it gets transferred or changed, but you cannot destroy energy.
Mm-hmm. When somebody is needed in the universe, the source creates it. So you were needed in the universe. And actually, in one session, the higher self, the source was speaking, and they said that the universe would be not the same without you, without the client. Everybody is required in this creation. That's why you are. I will tell you something that resonates with me. I had a client who remembered a situation when she was merged in the source. She was source before fragmentation of the source. The past creation ended, and all the God's source energy came back into one, in the state of one, nothing else. It was the decorations were brought back, all the theaters were coming back, nothing else existed. She remembers this awareness. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. Everybody was scrambling to get back to the Godhead. Get back to the oneness. Okay, we are here now. Okay, but it's nothing to do. Let's do it again. And new creation appears.
It makes sense that we would seek other things. It's a love, and love is creating, and we are creation.
When you are one, you want to experience love, activity, variety. Look how much variety we have only on this planet. Mm-hmm. And there are so many planets, so many dimensions. Fun exploring, and don't rush back to the oneness, because you wanted to come here.
Mm-hmm. You wanted to come here, you wanted to experience, you wanted to create, you wanted to learn.
For example, experience of having a baby, being a mother. Oh, yeah. You cannot have it. You cannot have it there in the light. You have to have a body, father, you are on the adventure. Don't take it so seriously. It will pass. Whatever is negative happening, it will pass. Learn from it and don't repeat the mistakes.
It's always temporary. There is a beautiful ending to this. There is a beautiful lesson to this. Must learn. No, I remember as a child when I came back, I always said, I want to experience it. And I had social anxiety starting to form because of trauma. Obviously, all the lessons from my experience, they were more fresh in my mind. And my mom would see that happening in me, and she'd be like, it's okay, you don't have to do it if it causes that much anxiety. And I'd say, no, I need this experience. I need to push myself through it and do it. I don't know, maybe this is silly to ask. Of course you do, probably. Have your meditations. How does that look for you in a day?
Well, I need to maintain the high vibration. I always led a clean life, clean thinking, clean eating. The low vibration doesn't feel right anymore to me. Like, I don't know, taking drugs or listening to the heavy metal music, which I listened before in the teenage years, or drinking alcohol. I know everything raises or lowers your vibrations. It's very difficult to find something neutral. I need to, as every healer, every person working with other people, connecting with energetically, I connect with nature very often. I am on the island, subtropical island of Canary Islands in Spain, near Africa. Can go to the ocean to get into ocean water, and salty water of the ocean is cleansing your aura. Or I can go to the forest. So half hour I can go up and be in the forest, the birds, the greenery. So nature is the most important for me. Also I meditate with mantras. And this is what resonates with me, but everybody is different. It's not good to compare. The message is stay in the light, bring light to your existence and avoid darkness in whatever way is resonating with you. How higher self is telling people how they can connect with the higher self. For some, it's a meditation on the sound of running water. For some, it's a meditation in the nature, being mindful in the nature, being in the moment in the nature. For another, it's running is meditation, best for them. For another, is meditating on the crown chakra. So everybody is different. If you knew how big is the creation, how many beings are there that are incarnated as humans, how different psychics they have, like spiritually speaking. Their history is creating them. What they experienced before is shaping them. The higher self knows how to live your fullest life. And in the session they say, so this is an example. Connect with your higher self. Listen to your intuition more. The more you listen, the stronger the connection becomes. And you have all the knowledge, you have all the power within you, and you can connect with it. If you cannot, you can have assistance, but not repeatedly, one time, maybe 2 times. And you have all you need inside you.
I truly appreciate that. I'm very excited to have these questions answered.
I hope it will be helpful, and probably you will have more questions after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Deep dives are super important. Thank you, Alex. You have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.
It was a pleasure. I'm running to my, I have 4 consultations more today.
I heard your computer go off. I was like, uh-oh.
No, I will work. I work on Sundays because people don't have time during the week for consultation or the session. So I am accommodating busy life of people. Consultation for many.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much again, Alex. I'll let you get to your work then. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Farewell.